Hi everyone, how are you? I have tried recording this video twice now and it's just wasn't feeling it. I felt like I was like losing, you know. Anyways, so let's talk about change. Let's talk about the change that is needed at this time. And how you can commit to change. How do you align to change? How do you allow for change, right? And stay out of old frequencies. How do you find your space where you belong? What's the next step in your journey forward, moving forward? Creating new earth. New earth. We are not going to have these old systems, right? In new earth. These systems are going. These old systems that we're witnessing being dismantled. How do you become a part of the change? What I often see, and I have removed myself because of this from many spiritual groups, is that there is false light that allows certain systems to continue. This is false gods, false light, people who are claiming to be in physical union when they clearly have more work to do and it's not union, and it's just very clear. It's very clear what needs to change. I can see it very clearly, right? People hold on to this false power that they somehow think they have within the twin flame community or experience, or whatever. Regardless, I'm not here to... My purpose for being here at this time is to support those who are ready to shift. Simple as that. As well as to do my part in an embodied ascension path to be a part of that change. So it's literally just showing up and taking direct action. Your capacity for change, it's up to you how much capacity or range you want to hold within that. I just chose full spectrum, full circleness, wholeness. And I want to bring lighted awareness in, lighted understanding in. And there's a lot of shit going on out there, right? And now is not a time to be putting your head in the sand and to be staying within a state of complacency. And this is not the time to say, but I'm a twin flame and I've already done my, and I'm in union. It's bullshit. The level of your light, capacity for light, right? It's not like it's you have to open yourself up to greater capacity for light. It's just a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice, and it's an honoring of that choice and staying in alignment with that choice and releasing anything that's not in alignment to it. So how do we end racism? It starts within. And yes, it is up to you. It is up to you. How do you end racism? Now, I hold white privilege. I know that. I personally have began an anti-racist journey years ago. I've always allied myself with anti-racism. And yet, what I realized is that my full capacity for change still had not been attained. It wasn't until I went deeper within to understand my own issues with race, my hate of my whiteness, my own experience as a white person. You want to know my own experience as a white person? I grew up in a racist family. I will never forget when I was 5 years old, and I had a black friend, Cheryl. And my grandmother told me, just don't marry one. Well, I ended up marrying one. My ex-husband is black. He is also Native American, as is my son. My son is of mixed race. Now, I have started to begin to have these conversations with him about race, about the reality out there. And it's scary. As much as I would love to believe that my son is safe, the older he gets, and the bigger he gets, I know, based on the world that we currently live in, that something bad could happen to him because of the color of his skin. Just because of that. And as a parent, it is my responsibility to end that. Just as much as it's my responsibility because of my Black brothers and sisters. Who are being killed. Who are having to face racism every day. Right? And my experience does not compare to their experience. Like, there's just no comparison. There's just no comparison. It is false unity to sit there and try to compare apples to oranges. That is not union. That is not unity. Unity is holding space for diversity. It is by lifting another up in their wholeness. Now, because of how I grew up, I really hated my race. And that created a lot of division within myself. A lot of conflict. That I had to tend to. And a lot of guilt that I had to release that I was carrying from my ancestors based on what I witnessed was being carried through by my blood. Now, my grandmother used to be called Blackie. See, I have olive skin tone. I actually just recently discovered, and I'm 38, that I'm part Greek, that I was unaware of. That is where the olives, we've always wondered, right? Where does the darker skin tone come from? And within my family, because it was suppressed, it was hidden, color, whiteness was the superior race. Why? And within my family, just never really seen it like this before. And the hatred of where I came from created problems for me, right? And until I got into the roots of my guilt and my shame, whatever I was holding on to, right, that was passed on to me from my family, and then my own internal, essentially rejection of that, independence, right, desire to be independent of that because I didn't want that. I was not going to take that on. That was not my path, right? I was not going to embody that racism, but I was constantly in conflict. Constantly, my whole life, conflict. Because I grew up in a very racist area, and I hated it. I hated it. I hated it so much that in order for me to run away from my shame and my guilt and my inner hatred, I married a black man. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't love him. I loved him. But I do know that within our marriage, that we were not able to hold the capacity within that marriage to work through these issues. So that's what a marriage is, right? You hold space for the other, space of love. And there were so many imbalances within my marriage, and it was not possible. It's not possible. But I have a son, so I still got to do the work. I had to unpack all of that stuff that I was carrying and holding on to from generations of oppression. In order to get to the root of my pain and my suffering of feeling separate. Not whole, or, So we all carry this within us. How do you dismantle the system of oppression within you in order to become a fully, holy, embodied, divine human being who's able to talk about this stuff? Who's not uncomfortable with black, white dynamics, or expressing the dynamics of the situation. Like, what is happening out there? How can you... And this is not about playing neutral, right? It's not about playing neutral, but it is about holding wholeness. Holding source. The ability to observe and to see and to know and to feel and to come into a harmonious union. I cannot experience union with another being until I am within my own harmonious union as a sacred feminine embodiment, fully immersed in her sacred life by design creation. I created a container to hold the capacity for change. And the more you open yourself up to it, the more you are able to create change for yourself and to create change for generations to come. Are you doing the work? Like, are you truly showing up? And not only, it's not about I don't know how deeply I want to go into it. If you are not actively engaging in anti-racist efforts, you are part of the problem. You are silent. You are not speaking out. You must come into contact with that voice within you. This is not about dismissing the experience of another or placing, I'm going to tell you right now, you are not holding the capacity for change if you have not gone within in order to release out your white fragility, your white centering, when you center yourself as if you are being oppressed, because you're not, you never understand as a white person. You could never understand as a white person. Fully, right? Just can't. And that is, it takes the attention away from the one who's truly oppressed, right? Or the oppressed. And then you attempt to place the attention on you. No. Can't do that. It's just not helping. It's not helpful. Don't do that. It's not helpful. If you truly want to be helpful, let me know. Reach out to me. My information's below. I'm going to post some anti-racist information below as well. How can you start doing your thing? How do you start speaking out against racial injustice? How are you able to see like the whole picture, right? The reality. Can't live in your like little, white privilege bubble, your, spiritual bypassed illusion. Like, there is no moving forward until this work is completed. Period. And that will become very clear soon enough. So I suggest that you begin now. If you truly want to create change for yourself, this is the work that needs to be done. 2 years ago, I came out and I said, I started speaking about this stuff. I started doing my own work. And people were not on board at that time. It was challenging. And these are people who, I thought for sure. Of course you want to support the cause. 333 here, 44% on my phone, on my computer. It's not about sitting by the sidelines. It's about taking a stand. Where do you lie? It's part of the process. We cannot have any of this within the new. So many of you out there, many people out there, right, within the Twin Flame community, collective, spiritual community, ascension community, it's time to anchor in and start doing your work from a space of, holding capacity. Holding capacity, allowing for change to occur, the unfolding, and standing firm to your integrity. If you are ready to embody as a sacred feminine, are you ready to become a fully embodied sacred feminine force that within your sacred life by design and attract your beloved of all existence and hold that space with that other, right? With those others. True union. I am holding space for that. I am running a 6-month course in sacred embodiment and immersion. This includes one-to-one support in the form of a hypnosis session, couple embodiment sessions, walkie-talkie app support. So when you have stuff coming up, when you want to work through something, I'm available. Group support, group sessions, group, Facebook group, as well as me facilitating the journey for you. For 6 months, we're going to create a daily practice for yourself, and you're going to start digging into where you are holding on to anything that needs to go. We're going to explore your shadow. We're going to release your false light. We're going to open you up to your sacred feminine gifts. We're going to work through the primordial, the essence, the archetypal, and the earthly realms of creation, so we can set you up to create and manifest your sacred life by design, which includes your wholeness, everything in between. This is beyond just a twin flame union. This is completion. This is true union. This is harmony. If you are interested in that, I am currently offering a 5-day course in my Facebook group, Sacred Feminine Flows, that will introduce you to my healing, to see if you are in alignment with that. So if that is something you are interested in, please join my Facebook group below. If you want to get in contact with me so we can do a 30-minute session to see whether or not this 6-month program, diving into the sacred feminine mysteries, would be right fit for you. And the program information itself is linked below. So I hope to see some of you in my group. It's a union hub, so we are going, you have meditations there, any attunements. I happen to do new moon, full moon, and dark moon activations, rituals, clearing, releasing. It's a great space if you are ready to go deeper and to truly experience your union and your ascension in an embodied way. In a truly embodied way, like as an individual source being. So if that's something you're interested in, I hope to chat with some of you guys soon and see you in that group. And until next time, toodaloo.